Hi. Bye. Harry flees. No, it's not the case that Harry has attracted a parasite that has caused him to have itchiness around his ankles, although of course we know that he did attract a different type of parasite that doesn't make his ankles itch, but is sucking his life force out of him as a consequence of the need to control him, draw fuel from him, and of course absorb his character traits and leech off him for residual benefits. But the parasite wasn't actually attached to him on this occasion. Undoubtedly, of course, she would have been doing so electronically, continuing to assert control over him through telephone calls and text message. He would have had to have checked in with the handler, similar to being subjected to an electronic curfew. There was the possibility, of course, that she might have been giving him a silent treatment as a mean of devaluing him because he had attended the coronation and she had not. But with the type of narcissist that she is, it's more likely that what she would want him to do is not only keep tabs on him to ensure that he wasn't getting too cozy with members of his family, but also she wanted information about what was going on, who was there, what was being said, and so forth, because that is a means of asserting control. Nevertheless, Harry wasn't allowed to go there for a few days beforehand so that he could acclimatise and ensure that he wasn't jet-lagged, nor was he allowed to stay and enjoy himself and attend the after-party and perhaps even see some friends if they still wanted to have anything to do with him. Under the pretence that he needed to be back for Archie's birthday, he was effectively told that he needed to get back to Monty Shitshow, meaning that he had a rather gruelling schedule of flying in, staying at Frogmore, attending the coronation, and then disappearing post-haste. No opportunity for anybody to intervene, not that they were probably reminded to have done so on this occasion. They were focused on the coronation, not on Harry and his problems. If he returns on another occasion, and he's likely to do so because he has to give evidence in the court case, there is an opportunity there perhaps for a member of the royal family to speak to him and see if some intervention might occur. But that was not going to take place over the coronation weekend. The shortness of his stay, of course, was commented on in many places, not least the Mail Online, with Lawrence Dollymore writing, "Not staying for lunch then, Harry. Prince's car is spotted at Heathrow just 1 hour after King Charles's coronation, after he told Jack Brooksbank he planned to head off." Prince Harry wasted no time in leaving his father's coronation, getting picked up from Westminster Abbey by a car that immediately headed out of London and was spotted at Heathrow Airport. It comes after the Duke of Sussex, 38, appeared to indicate to Jack Brooksbank that he would be leaving straight away after the ceremony during a conversation that they shared inside Westminster Abbey. Lip reader Jackie Presser told Mail Online that when Harry indicated with his thumb, he said the words tomorrow and 3:45 p.m, while another lip reader picked up the word airport. The King's son was beaming as he climbed into a black vehicle immediately after the historic event this afternoon. The same car was then seen being escorted out of the capital by a police motorcade in the direction of Heathrow. Harry was widely expected to return to California as soon as possible to celebrate his son Archie's 4th birthday with his wife, Harry's wife. There are multiple commercial flights heading from Heathrow to Los Angeles. The flight time is around 11 hours, meaning that if he left at 4 p.m, he would touch down by 7 p.m, giving him time to celebrate his son's special day. It was reported that the Duke had been invited to a post-coronation lunch at Buckingham Palace in what many would have seen as, here it comes, an olive branch, after his explosive memoir Spare left several members of the royal family reeling, most notably his brother Prince William. Harry had worn an awkward smile as he was forced to watch the event of a generation from his relegated seat in the 3rd row, while his sibling took centre stage alongside a radiant Kate Middleton. The Duke seemed keen to put on a jovial display amid ongoing speculation of the royal family's inner turmoil following the release of his bombshell back in February. Wearing medals pinned to his suit jacket, he had been seen laughing and smiling as he entered the church alongside Princesses Eugenie and Beatrice and their respective husbands. Once sat next to Mr. Brooksbank, a lip reader consulted by Hello magazine believes the Duke told him, "I will be straight to the airport." Another lip reader, Ms. Press, told Mail Online that their conversation appeared light-hearted as they waited for the historic occasion to begin, with Harry possibly discussing an event happening on Sunday. She claimed the Prince smiled at Mr. Brooksbank and said, "That's funny. Interesting." To an unknown question from Mr. Brooksbank, Harry replied, "About 3:45. Mr. Brooksbank then replied, "Oh, really? When?" To which the Duke responded, "I think tomorrow." For all anybody knows, they could be discussed fucking betting tips. It came after Harry awkwardly nodded at other guests as he endured a solo walk down the aisle to take his seat next to his cousins ahead of the arrival of his father and now Queen Camilla. Harry appeared to bow his head as the newly anointed king walked past him on his way out of the Abbey, although much of his true reaction was blocked by a feather on Princess Anne's hat. The prince had not been seen for over 24 hours after his arrival, and accommodation plans remained shrouded in secrecy. Before it emerged, he had flown into the United Kingdom on a commercial American Airlines flight on Friday morning. Harry was seated between Eugenie's husband Jack Brooksbank and Princess Alexandra, the cousin of the late Queen, who has not worked as a royal for 10 years. They were joined by Prince Andrew's daughters, Eugenie, 33, and Beatrice, 34, and her husband, Ido Mapelli-Mozzi. Also in the third row, at the other end from Harry, was the Duke of York, who stopped using his title, His Royal Highness, in an official capacity in January 2022. He wore his Order of the Garter robe. William and Kate were in the front row at the Abbey for the historic ceremony, with their children Prince George and Princess Charlotte. Their youngest child, Prince Louis, who recently turned 5, will take his seat after processing through the Abbey, but will retire once the ceremony begins. Only the other senior working royals will have a front row seat, made up of the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, Edward and Sophie, and their children, Lady Louise and James, the Earl of Wessex, as well as the ever-popular Princess Anne and her husband Tim Lawrence. A source told The Sun there were discussions that the seating could be arranged in line of succession, but that would have put fifth-in-line Harry front and centre, and with William and Kate. Instead, the decision was working royals only at the front and work back from there. Harry will be a long way from his father. Sources previously told the Mail that there were no plans for Harry to join the royal family on the palace balcony or even appear in official photos, which, of course, came to pass. Ultimately, he cut an isolated figure, although he did have an interaction with some individuals, and then away he went, yanked back to the United States by his handler, demonstrating that although he attended, as he ought to have done, and he kept his head down, and he didn't stir up any shit, which shows, of course, where it all comes from. He flies in, he goes to Frogmore, he turns up at the Abbey, he nods hello to people that he recognises, speaks to Eugenie and Beatrice, has a quick word and a hello with Princess Anne. He talks to the husbands of Eugenie and Beatrice. He behaves himself. There was no attention-seeking. There was no separate plans trying to divert attention away from the coronation, which demonstrates how, when he does misbehave, it's a joint enterprise because of the influence of his wife. Of course, he didn't go back to being the Harry that we all knew prior to when the spider came along, but this was a useful opportunity for people to see two factors. One, absent her influence, he just gets on with it, which tells you who is the narcissist in the relationship. Her. Furthermore, it demonstrates the control that she still has over him because of the brevity of his visit and the fact that he soon fled once the coronation itself was over. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.